Alright, welcome to the video tutorial for Module 1 of Excel 2019. This is the CAPL 1025. This module is all about creating a worksheet and incorporating a chart into that worksheet. It's going to be stuff that you're familiar with. We've done it all in 1010. But just in case some of those objectives are opening the app, these first several items over here, I'm not gonna cover in this video per se. We'll kind of gloss over them because it's all stuff that we've done already within this term so far. So we're going to focus on most of the stuff over here, and then using some of this auto calculate and things like that, correcting errors. All right. Okay, so I have not yet returned to Minnesota. Who knows when that's going to happen with the coronavirus scare. But as I record this video lesson, this is my view, so don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Okay, so for starters, one of the things that I would emphasize, and that I've always emphasized throughout Bridge and up until now, and I will continue to do so as long as I'm teaching these applications, one of the most important things that you want to do when you're creating spreadsheets, Word documents, publishing, desktop publishing, PowerPoint presentations, is you want to kind of have an idea of what your goal is. And so if you take a look at page 1-4 in the textbook, it gives you this little diagram of kind of the spreadsheet that we'll be creating in this project. And so it's just kind of emphasizing the fact that you want to make sure that you have a plan in place before you just start typing stuff into an open workbook, right? And we are also going to skip through the first several pages of this text because really the work that we need to do doesn't really start until page 13. So let's go ahead and jump on right into page 13. All right, so we are going to be starting with clicking on cell A1. And we are just going to jump right on into entering the text. And so this is on page 14. We're going to type the text Frangold real estate budget. And then enter it onto cell A2. And then we're going to go ahead and type the text monthly estimates. And then enter on down to the next line. And then we're going to type in income in cell A3 and hit the right pointing arrow to navigate to cell B3. And then in cell B3, we're going to type the text January. All right, and I'm going to hit enter here. Now the textbook tells us to go to each cell and type the text in it individually. We are just going to go ahead and click on cell B3 and grab this little autofill handle because we know that it will recognize the text that's the day of the week or a month, and it will populate that right across. Click on cell N3 and type the word total. And then let's go down to cell A8. And we're going to type in expenses. All right. Now, the textbook, let's spell it correctly. The textbook is going to tell us to go ahead and type in all the text again for January through December in total. But I'm just going to come up to cell B3. I'm going to fill across, copy it, and then just click in cell B8 and paste. And then we've got all that text right there. Okay. So then we're going to go to cell A4. Now we're going to enter our row labels. So we're going to enter commission first, and then in A5 we're going to type interest, and then in A6 total. I'm going to navigate down to A9, and then we're going to go ahead and enter those other labels as it shows us in the book, starting with rent. Okay, so once we've got those row labels in, we're going to navigate down to cell A19, and then in cell A19 we're going to type net. Alright, so now once we've got that entered, we're going to start typing in that text. And so the little table that contains all the data is on page 1-18. I can also include a data file for this in when I post this lecture. But like I said, on table 1-1, the real estate budget worksheet, all the information is right there. So let's go ahead and start entering that with 12,000, and then navigating over to the next cell. Okay, so once we've got all that text entered, let's go ahead and start creating these calculations. So we're going to do the sums of all of our columns as well as the rows. And so let's go ahead and enter in that cell B6. And again, it's going to tell you to type in the formulas, but since we've already done all of this work, let's just go ahead and go to our editing group, our auto sum. It selected the correct range for us, B4 through 5. Let's hit enter and grab this fill handle, fill the formula right across, and then do the same thing down here in cell B17. We're going to hit in our editing group on the home tab, auto sum. It's given us the correct range, that's B9 through B16. Hit enter, and then let's go ahead and fill that formula across. Okay, and then once we've got that information entered, let's go ahead and do our totals for our rows as well. So again, we're going to do the same way, our auto sum, enter, fill this down, and then the same thing for cell N9, create that calculation, enter, and then let's go ahead and fill it down. Okay, so now we've got all of those totals filled. So once we've got that, let's go ahead and let's create the formula for our net. And so the net value is going to be we're going to subtract our expenses from our income. So we're just going to type in enters. I'm going to click in cell B6, minus, click in cell B17, hit enter, and then let's fill this formula right across through N19. Shazam. Okay, so now we've got all of that stuff done, so let's go ahead, while we're here, let's go ahead and save our work. So we're going to go ahead and do a file, save as, and let's go ahead and save it where you keep the work that you're working on. So again, for me, it's in my flash drive for 1025. Let's go down here. And this is in my assignments and my module 1, and I'm going to call it Frangold budget. I'm doing it on the 14th. I'm going to say OK. And alright. So there we have this work saved. Alright, so now we've got this saved. So now let's go ahead and start formatting the text in this to make it look a little bit better. So all the data that we have to enter, this is it. Now we're going to do that formatting. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and select cell A1, that Frangold real estate budget, and we are going to look by the title style. So it's going to be in our home tab, the styles group. I'm going to go ahead and select the title style. And then we're going to navigate to cell A2. And then in cell A2, we're going to select the font arrow. And we're going to change this to Arial narrow. And we're going to make it 16 point. And then we are also going to make it bold, I believe. I know in cell A1 we're going to make bold. So let's go make cell A1 bold. Alright, like I said, we're going to change that to the green accent 6 color. And we're also going to come down to cell A2 and make sure that is bold and that same green accent 6 color. Alright. Okay. And then now we're going to click in cell A1. We're going to drag across through cell A9. I'm going to go ahead and merge and center that cell. And then we're going to do the same thing to cell A2 through A9. We're going to merge and center that as well. So let's go ahead and click on cell A3 through, come on, A3 through N3. And we're going to be doing this to the same thing to row 9 or 8. So let's go ahead and hit the Control key and click in cell A8 and then scroll through N8. Now if you want to do each one of these rows independently, go ahead and do that. But I'm just doing it this way because we are changing them both. Right? And we're going to format this with the heading 1 style. All right. And let's go ahead. We are going to center the text in those columns. So go ahead and click on that center button. And now we're going to go ahead and again, now we're going to use that control non-adjacent selection because we're going to be selecting all of these rows independently. Now normally I would say we should probably use a table style for this, but the book just wants us to make sure we understand how to do this. So let's go ahead and select row A4 through N4. And again, all of these are going to be column A through column N in that independent row. So we've got the row 4 selected. And then let's go ahead and select row 9. So control, we're going to select row 9, 11, 13, come on, 15, and then we're going to apply the shading, green, accent 6, lighter 20%. Lighter 20 or lighter 80? Oh, nope, we're going to apply the cell style. Sorry. 20% accent 6. My bad. And then let's go ahead and select the row, again, column. Alright, so let's go ahead and select this total row, this row 6, A6 through N6. And then we're also going to select A17 through N17. We're going to give this the total style. But I also forgot to do, now we're going to select A5 through N5, and then these other rows. So row 10, row 12, row 14, and row 16. And here we're going to apply the 40% accent 6 cell style. So cell style, 40% accent 6. Alright, so we've got that. And now let's come down to this row 19. We're going to select that one. And this one is just going to get the cell 6 style. Alright, so row 19 is going to get the cell style accent 6. Alright, so once we've got that, let's select the range B4 through N4. So B4 through N4. And we're going to apply the accounting style. So that's going to be that little $sign right over here. And then we're going to select B5 through N5 and give this one the comma style. Alright, now B6 will be our active cell. And then in cell B6, let's select B6 through N6. And this one will also be the accounting style. Alright, so then we're going to do the same thing. And I'm just going to use my control non-adjacent selection. So I'm going to select B9 through N9, control B17 through N17, and B19 through N19. We're going to give this the accounting style, and then from B10 through N16, will be the comma style. All right. Now the next step wants us to go ahead and do the auto fit for each column, so we can go between A and B, double click on it. However, the much easier way to do this is going to be get the down pointing arrow over column A, click and hold, drag through column N, and let's go to our Home tab Cells group, the Format option, and we're just going to do Auto Fit Column Width, and that's going to automatically fit all that text. That is a much easier and more efficient way of doing that. All right. Okay, so this next step is talking about naming a cell, and it wants us to come up to cell A3 and click up here in the name box and type A3 and then hit enter. But that's ridiculous. I mean, we can't do that. I think a better way to illustrate this would be if we selected cell B4 and drug through M5. So selected this entire range and then came up to here, and let's call it our monthly income. So monthly income, and then hit enter. Now we could look here and find our monthly income, and it will give us this range. Now we're going to be using this a lot in the coming chapters, but I think this is a much better way to illustrate how you can use the name box to name cells and cell ranges. All right. So that doesn't make a difference if I keep that there. I could delete it. I would have to come up to my data group and look, go to my advanced and really remove it, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So the next thing we're going to do is, if we're on page 145, we are going to insert a pie chart. So let's go ahead and we are going to select our expenses category. So let's go from A9 through A16, hold Control, and then N9 through N16. And then go ahead and go to our Insert tab, and then Charts and Pie Chart. And there is our pie chart. Alright, so we've got that pie chart inserted, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to change the title. So let's change the title from Chart Title to Monthly Expenses. And then click outside of it to accept that. And now we are going to apply chart style. So we're going to apply the Style 6 chart style. So I believe that's this one right here. Go ahead and click on that. And then we're going to move it. So we've got our chart tools design tab still open. Let's go to this location grouping and say move chart. We're going to select to a new sheet. And we're going to call this sheet the monthly finances. Or excuse me, monthly expense chart. And then hit enter, or OK. Brings it to its own chart. And then if you come over and right click on the sheet 1 and rename it, this one we're going to call monthly finances. And then enter. And let's go ahead and change the tab color for our monthly finances. So right click on it, tab color. Let's change this to the green accent 6 color. All right. And so one thing that you'll notice that right down here in our status bar, we've got right here. Again, so I just deselected it. But if we come down here and right click on the status bar, you can see right here we've got these different options. So we can see the average, count, minimum, maximum, and sum. And that's just letting us know that we could select a range. So for instance here, and it will give us the sum of all the cells and the average. If we change that range, you'll see it'll be different. So again, 34,600, 34,600. If I only selected one range, it's going to give me just the range that I selected. So this is a really cool feature that's available. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to go to our print options, because we're going to view how this is going to be printed. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can go to your file, print, and then see it right here. We're going to go ahead and change the orientation to layout, or excuse me, landscape. And then we're going to scale it to fit it on one page. So everything will fit on one page. I'm not going to print it right now, but another way we could do that is right here, page break preview. We could look at our page break preview to see how it would fit too. So right now you can see it's all on one page. Let's go back to our normal view. All right, so now let's go ahead and correct any errors that we might have. So I'm going to select the range. Now I'm on page 56. So let's select the range B19 through M19. So put a normal B19 through M19. And then you can see right here, we've got this 154,600 that's showing there. And then I'm going to right click. Sorry, I'm going to deselect that range. I'm going to right click anywhere in here. Alright, sorry. So we're going to right click in this status bar, the auto calculate area. And then we can say maximum. And then if we select the range, it will give us the maximum as well. Right. And so we can also do error correcting while we're doing this. And we can, so if you go navigate to page 61, it's using the help option. And there are also a couple different ways we can use the help options. So right up here in Word, we have that help options. And then we also have a help option right over here. So you can click that little help button, type what you need to know over here. Again, you need an internet connection. Right now I'm disconnected from the internet. But if you had an internet connection, you could type your information and it would link you to the internet. Right over here, if you start typing something, if I want to know how to create a chart, I just click on that and it would bring me right over to that area. Alright. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and save this with a new name. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to cell A1, go to my Home tab, and then we're going to do the file, Save As, and then same place where we save it normally, we're going to browse it, find it in our 1025 assignments for me, Module 1, and then this is going to be the SCEX1 Frangold, and I'm just going to rename this with the date, because I've already done this one before. But let's go ahead and change it to 14. Okay. And that one is done. The chapter module project for Module 1 is done. So this one's ready to submit.